Welcome to Between Two Perns. My name is Jackson Dickert, and I'm joined here by one of the youngest names in publishing, Nick Martell.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, how's it going?
Not bad. I'm enjoying my day. Can't complain.
Good, glad to hear it. That's probably about to change. So, Nick, have you found your characters difficult to write? Because you're writing epic fantasy, and that's tough already, because they live in a world completely unlike ours. But I'm especially interested in whether it's been difficult for you as a child to write characters who are old enough to drive or who have children or pay taxes.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Like the whole taxes thing, I had to get rid of taxes in the world.
Yeah.
Couldn't have them in there because, can't understand that. You know how long it took me to figure out like what an LLC was? Fascinating stuff. And it still confuses me. Really just waiting for the IRS to come and get me.
Now, I read your biography, and it says you started writing in the 5th grade. Mm-hmm. That's incredible that you managed to get 3 books written between then and starting your first year of high school this year. Are you nervous about the upcoming school year and that your teachers might be harder on you and your essays than the other kids? It's
challenging. Because clearly you got to keep writing the books.
Yeah.
I want to keep writing, do that thing. But, I really want to also be able to explore, having a high school romance would be great.
Right.
And, how do I do that while also writing about dragons? I don't know how those two correlate.
I'm sure it's also tough just because, romantically, it's like, are they interested for the right reasons? Mm-hmm. Or just because you're best-selling author Nick Martell?
I know. It's honestly the thing I had to do the most time with. While I was writing those books, ChatGPT just did all the romance stuff for me. Couldn't figure that out, so I just let it all do that for me. But I'm hoping next book, with some real life experience, it'll be so much smoother to write those parts.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
The ChatGPT sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Have you looked into court stenographers? You've got a blurb from Brandon Sanderson, and that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love the charity work that he does for, the younger, generation.
Yeah.
I was wondering, though, the blurb says excellent. Mm-hmm. Was there more to that blurb? Perhaps the full quote was Nick's debut is excellent for his age?
They really just sent me excellent. They were just like, this is what he said.
Okay.
They didn't want me to see anything else. And I can't blame them. Who else needs to know? Let everyone else fill in the details what was around it. Excellent swimmer, or excellent student, or excellent high schooler.
That's all great points.
Yeah, exactly.
And those all sound like things that you'd be better at than writing.
I can't disagree with that. Right. I really can't.
That's not the only praise you received, however. Kirkus Reviews called your first trilogy, The Legend of the Mercenary King, the future of epic fantasy.
Yep.
Do you think they just called it that because children are the future, so that was the safest compliment they could give without looking bad for mocking a child?
I genuinely have no idea how I got that blurb.
I see that you spent some time in France swimming for the varsity team, though you aren't on the team anymore.
No.
It says here that you were a breaststroker, and so I was wondering if you were kicked off the team for inappropriate behavior toward your teammates.
No, but I did see a lot of my teammates naked at times. It's really terrifying, the amount of, you know how much, clothing a Speedo actually covers? It's not much. It's really not much.
Wow.
But no, I was not kicked off team for inappropriate behavior.
Promise?
Promise.
All right. Nobody likes a liar, Nick. Except for your fans, maybe.
I know, I was going to say, my fans kind of, bought into the thing with the whole Kingdom of Liars thing.
I was going to say, they love a whole kingdom of them.
Yeah.
So besides the name of your first book, it seems like you've had a little bit of a pattern of lying, which is typical for someone your age.
Yes.
You went through a slew of jobs, from quality insurance tester to working on a farm in Ireland. Walk me through the moment you realized that you could make a living by telling made-up stories.
I just watched a lot of author interviews, and funny fact, they all kind of say they professionally lie.
Yeah.
It's
a little bit sus, isn't it?
Yeah,
yet people keep letting them sign contracts and taking their word for
It's really
things.
shocking. It's all the big names, too. You go Robin Hobb, Brandon Sanderson.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, they all said I lie for a living, so really, just kind of drawn to it.
I like to ask everyone if they have any useful writing advice or tips on how to write faster, be more productive as a writer. I know you have very limited experience, but do you have anything like that you can share?
Yeah, I think the best advice you can give is, obviously it's the most boring one, but read often and plenty. Try to write every day if you can, or write consistently is the most thing to happen. Or yeah, that's kind of the only advice I got.
That was some pretty solid advice. I expected you to say that for the longer sessions, you recommend Pampers because they hold the most moisture.
Oh, that's the equipment side. I thought you just meant the
Oh,
advice side.
no. The equipment's actually more what I'm typically interested in.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you got to get your milk ready, chocolate milk, 2 glasses right on the side.
Okay.
Yeah. Pampers don't work. You got to go with Loveys. Those are ones, especially the Spider-Man prints.
Nice.
Those hold the secret ingredient. I don't know what it is, but
the secret sauce is the Spider-Man print. Wow. Yeah. See, that was the advice I was looking for. Thank you very much.
I'm happy to help.
I thought we could go through and judge all of your books by their covers.
Okay.
I do marketing for a living. So be sure that you're taking notes on these.
Mm-hmm.
Your characters might be giving up their memories willy-nilly, but given how few memories you have due to your young age, I'm not sure that's something you can afford to be doing here.
Okay.
The first one is Kingdom of Liars. The moonbreaking is cool and everything, but it's missing something. It's missing that yes factor that the general public won't be able to resist picking up. I'm thinking right at the bottom of the cover, you need a bunch of minions from Despicable Me cheering that the moon is being destroyed.
I like that idea. It's kind of like it adds more oomph to the thing. Like, yeah, you need. Ironically enough, there is a picture out there with the original cover with. I don't want to say what's on cheering the moon being broken, but there was a cover. Sadly, it was turned down. I was in favor of it. Everyone is in favor of it, and then some higher, CEO was just like, "Nah, we don't want this on. We don't want to pay for the minions."
Right. Was it something unsavory?
Not unsavory, but it did live in the water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been a breaststroker.
Close.
All right. The second book was The Two-Faced Queen. And I was actually curious where the name for the book came from.
Yeah, weirdly enough, the first name of that book was actually called The Lingering Nightmare. And then they said it was too scary, and it would scare away all the other kids who were my readers. Really aimed for that audience. They said we wanted to go something different.
8 to 12 is it's a huge demographic.
It's really hard to nail that demographic.
Yeah.
So, and then they said, well, you had king in the title, maybe you can put queen. And I'm like, okay. And then I kind of counted wrong one day after someone had it was really weird juice they had given me, and I kind of saw like 2 queens next to each other. I'm like, oh, 2 faces, 2-faced queen, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, it's an epidemic in this country. The way expired apple juice, it ferments, and nobody knows that. So we just have drunk
you'd
children.
think there'd be some warnings on it, like cigarettes, where it's kind of like, don't drink this after a certain amount of time.
Exactly.
I really think someone needs to get on that.
Exactly. That's cool. I wasn't sure if the Two-Faced Queen was named after my ex-wife or not.
I honestly get that question a lot of time for a lot of other people. It's a very common question.
Yeah, she gets around.
I'm sorry.
I did think that this was another one where you could benefit by leaning a bit more on pop culture.
Okay.
Her pose is great. The crown really draws my eye, and you've nailed the foreground. But you've lost sight of what the background needs. Since she's Two-Face, I'm thinking we should just put up Batman posted up in the rafters somewhere. That's the kind of book I'd pick up and read. I'd be wondering, why is Batman there? How did this guy get the rights to Batman? I can't wait to see how Batman ties into this book. And then when Batman never shows up, they just assume he's going to be coming in book 3. And so they buy the next book and keep reading.
Honestly, that sounds genius. I should have done that.
Then you've got the third and the final cover. This one is amazing. It's perfect. There's almost no notes. I love how you ripped off the 5-headed dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! That was sick. That was a really intelligent move because not only do I see this cover and I want to suffer through the first 2 books to find out what the deal with this dragon is.
Yeah.
But this is also something I just pluck right off the shelf and go buy without bothering to read the back cover. I'm kind of a sucker for dragons. I think most of us are.
Yeah, I think so.
The only thing I think could be improved is if you put Yami Yugi standing on the cliffside with his dual disc ready to go. So it's a pretty minor thing, but...
See, I had this whole chapter. It's a super long story. I had this whole chapter where actually Yami Yugi came in at the very end.
Oh,
and it was this huge plot twist, and it was great. Everyone loved it. Ironically, except my agent, my editors, my beta readers, my alpha readers, and all the fans I'd given to in advance to read. They all kind of hated it, but I still wanted to put it in. So I did end the end of the book with the famous Yami Yugi going into the light there dramatically. And it was kind of like leave a note where it's a little asterisk where it's like, could this be Yu-Gi-Oh?
That's dope. You need to surround yourself with more intelligent people, it sounds like.
I think it was just the culture at the time.
If you look at the trends, though, the market trends, when vampires come back, so does Yu-Gi-Oh! And vampires are coming back. So I think...
Really? I didn't know vampires were coming back.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't, Nick. In the future, just reach out to me about these book covers.
Okay.
This industry will chew you up, and they will spit you out. But it's like Kirk has said, you're a future champ.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm happy to take you under my wing. So just send me your book covers, and I'll tell you how you can fix them.
Okay. So I'll send you all my pictures for the next book covers too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have this book called Luckbreaker. What do you think the cover should be?
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun.
Easy.
What kind of leprechaun? Like, we talking like in front of a pot of gold with like the rainbow in the background?
I don't think he's earned his pot of gold yet, right? That's the luck breaking. His luck is broken, and so he's got no pot of gold there. It's completely empty. And throughout the course of the novel, he's got to get his luck back. And as his luck returns, so too does his pot of gold replenish.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So at the very end, there should just be a page with him like standing with a pot of gold at the very end, like the thematic close, but it's not actually the back cover. It's just like the final page.
I'd say so. I'm thinking over the course of the novel, he's got to earn like each stripe of the rainbow. The front cover, I don't know if you do the beginning or the end. That's something I've got to ponder on a little bit. Because you can either do it no rainbow, pot empty, sad leprechaun. Or, you do it, he's joyful, and people kind of know, because kids, they want the happy ending. And since you're writing for this 8 to 12 age range, they're going to want to see on the cover that everything's going to turn out okay.
Okay, so I got to figure out which colors to give them back in time. Like, do you think I should start with red, blue, yellow? Like,
I think you could just go Roy G. Biv.
You think so?
I think so.
I didn't even want to spice it up with a little twist, like throw in green right in the beginning.
I think that's going to confuse not only the children, but also yourself.
That's fair.
One other thing, I thought I could help you with marketing your next book. So I took the liberty of making some flyers to help you get the word out.
Okay.
So here's the first one.
Wow. That's nice. Yeah. That's really nice.
You like that?
Yeah, I really like the bear. Like, how do I, like...
We can barely wait.
I know. It's perfect. It's a pun. I love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've got that one, and I'm not just stopping at one. You're under my wing now.
Oh, so how many do I get? What, just like 2?
Well, no. I've got 3 for you today. And then I can keep working on them if you like these. So next we have Rar. It's a book.
I really like that. I kind of like how the dinosaur has dimples. Like, why does the dinosaur have dimples?
He's a child. Children want to see themselves in the characters that they enjoy.
Okay.
And so he's just like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I think we kind of have the same eyes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Little beady things.
I was gonna say soulless, but that works too.
Yeah, I think beady. You can tell there's something in there. It's just not grown up yet. And here's the last one.
Nah, we can't have that one. That's a circus. I'm scared of clowns.
Yeah, but your writing career so far has been a bit clown-like, so I thought maybe it would be a good fit. And then the very last thing.
Okay.
I saw you don't have any fan art.
No.
And that made me really sad. So I took the liberty of creating your first piece of fan art.
I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited to show you. Beyond just fan art, it's an alternative cover.
Okay.
So I hope you like it.
Okay, so I have one criticism on it.
Okay, no, the feedback is welcome.
I don't know if that pose is realistic. Just think about it. You have to carry the baby in there. Like, can you put this and the running at the same time? Like, the baby's head is going to be hit against the chest.
Is that what happened to you?
No, yeah, 100%. We actually tried to recreate that pose.
Okay.
And it didn't work. You kind of like just stumble along.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So you're gonna have to probably tweak the pose a little bit.
Okay, I can tweak the pose. That's okay. I've actually, because I'm such a big fan, I've got another alternative cover art for
okay,
you.
Okay.
So I want to get the ball rolling here for you to open the door so other people will start making fan art for you too.
Okay.
So we've got this one as well. You can see there you're kind of being held in the dragon's mouth.
Yeah. So it's interesting you chose that one because that's the ice one, poison one, darkness one.
Yeah.
And that's the steel one, and then there's like lightning there. So like really, like it's clamping down there. I'm pretty secure in that mouth right there.
Yeah. Safe little guy in there.
Yeah.
For all the marketing help I gave you today,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna invoice you afterwards. I know you're not old enough to have a credit card, but
Okay.
your parents can just pay it. And it's no big
Okay.
deal.
Okay. So I pay you in like what we're talking about, like lollipops, Monopoly money, or like candy.
No, sweetheart. That's why your parents are paying it, because they have real money, not just your...
Oh, you mean Canadian money? Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, no. All right. I'm going to need to just have a lengthy conversation with your parents. All right, so for the next question... Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Sorry, we've got to go ahead and wrap up this interview. It's almost your bedtime. You thought you discovered a loophole in the writing world where that if you don't read the work of the greats, then you won't be influenced by them, so your work will be more original.
Mm-hmm.
After reading the first few pages of your book, it just seems to me that if you don't read the work of greats, then you yourself stand no chance of being great.